For those of you out there who have YouTube channels and you've got some slick intro, my hat's off to you, because I sat here and tried it longer than I'd like to admit and realized that I suck so bad at it. So I'm not even gonna try it. I'm just gonna hop right in as to what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. One of the main reasons that I wanted to do this was probably for personal accountability. I know that if I commit to creating some videos, thinking once a week, just to kind of recap how the running has been going, then that will hold me accountable, because I know that I'm going to be thinking about it and how I'm going to prepare these videos. And you might be thinking, well, if you know me, especially, you heard me mention running, and you're like, wait a minute, you're not a runner. And that's absolutely correct. And as you'll see, I'm planning on boring you to death with sarcasm and probably some of the world's slowest running that you've ever seen. I've come to the realization that my body can't handle the Olympic lifting that I was doing, especially the training that it would take me to a competition. I don't really have the desire to do any kind of a powerlifting meet, even though I did really enjoy that training. And I'm not quite ready to sink the amount of money into cycling that I would need to, whether road biking or mountain biking, because that stuff's expensive. That leaves me with running. I've already got a Garmin, so I just needed a pair of new running shoes, and then I had to find a training plan. Now, I'd like to eventually do a half marathon, and if my body holds up, I'd love to do that, possibly more, even though I swore I would never run anything longer than a half marathon ever again. I just kind of want to see where my body's at, and I would also feel volumes better just having a plan to follow with a goal set in mind, rather than just showing up in a gym and just training just for the purpose of exercising. So, shoes. I've had several different kinds of running shoes, from Nike to Hoka to New Balance. I haven't had any that I would say I absolutely hated. Now, I have had some that I would probably never buy again that just felt really uncomfortable. The Nike, I think they were Flyknit standout. I had a pair of New Balances that I didn't like. Most recently, I hopped online without really trying these things on, and I bought them just because I like the color. But I bought some New Balance Fresh Foam, and they felt great when I first started walking in them. But when I was running, and I didn't do a lot of running in them, most of the miles that are on these Fresh Foams were walking miles. They just didn't really support my foot very well, and if you look at the bottoms, you'll see where my foot strike is, and you'll see how the shoe started to break down. And when I went to the running store, what they told me was that if I continued to do that and the shoe continued to break down that way, that I could risk injury. And I'm way too old for that, and I'm definitely not going to do anything to try and injure myself, especially running. I had to go try on a new pair of shoes. Got to give a quick shout out to Ken Combs running store. They did fantastic. All the stores here in my area I've had really good luck with. This one just stood out just because the customer service felt like I was the only person in the store, and I was treated like I was the only person that was going to come into the store. It was great. I had total attention. The guy gave me fantastic details on every kind of running shoe and kind of stuff that would help me reach my goal. So I tried on 4 or 5 different pairs, ran in a couple just to kind of see how they would feel, and kind of landed on these Altas. I don't think that I've ever run in Altas before, but I really like the way that these feel. They had enough room in the toe box. There was enough support on the bottom. It was rigid enough, but yet there was still enough bend and give to it where it felt cushioned while still supporting it. So that's what I rolled with. First week results. The plan with this vlog is, if I can get it all done correctly the way that I'd like to kind of recap the previous week. It's just something that'll help keep me on track as I continue to run. First week went pretty well. I'm not trying to set any kind of records. I'm not trying to compare one day's pace to another. Just the type of person I am, I'm gonna look at the data if I've got it. I was really happy to see that everything was pretty consistent on every single day. I'm running 3 days a week, and these first 3 days, were pretty simple in terms of the training plan. It was a 60-second run. I think the app tells you to jog. I'm probably a rog, a little bit faster than a jog, but not quite a run, which is, I think, that's my natural pace. So 60-second run and a 90-second walk, and that was like 8 rounds. And each day I did that. The way that I've got the training set up is I'll be running 3 days a week. And I love the progression of this training plan. I'd hopped on Garmin, and you can select a coach. They'll create a custom running plan for you. Nothing that I found for a half marathon was set up for a beginner. And I guess it kind of makes sense. So that's why I thought I'll start with a 10K, maybe use that to bridge that into a half, depending on how I feel. This app I had used when I did the couch to 5K, and it worked great. So I thought I'll give it a shot. I love the progressions. Way better than the Garmin. The Garmin had an awesome setup. 2-minute walk, 5-minute baseline run, 2-minute walk. But the next day was a 2-minute walk, a 10-minute run, a 2-minute walk, and another 10-minute run. And that ain't happening. Right now, the way that I run, and as slow as I am, it would take me 20 minutes to run that first 10 minutes. So I ain't doing it. This app was great. Loaded up, I can see all of the training that's coming up, which gives me some comfort. I love being able to see everything that's coming from the beginning all the way to the end. And I know when the final day is gonna come, which is somewhere around the end of October, early November. There's no 10K race around here in this area, so I think what I might do is hop online, find a virtual event and sign up for it, just so that I can have that accountability of knowing that I've signed up, I've got to go do it on this date. All right, so the hardest part for the first week of training by far has been B-roll. I really don't know how people do it, especially these get ready with me videos where you see somebody getting out of bed. Like, I'm just imagining somebody trying to find a perfect position for their phone, and then they get back in bed and then act like they're getting up for the first time. I feel so cringy when I'm trying to set my phone up, and I've been trying to do it where at an area of the park where there is nobody else, because I would be mortified if somebody stumbled across me setting up my phone in the bushes just so that I can have 10 seconds of me running. But today I found my phone tripod, and when I went for a run today, I was able to get some hopefully non-cringy B-roll footage that I'm gonna try and mix in with it. But I don't know how you people do it that do that, because I have felt like a fish out of water every time that I have set that up. I know having some kind of B-roll footage is better than watching me just babble on and on and on. So that's just the nature of the beast. And if I'm gonna do a vlog, might as well do it right, or try to do it right. So I'm not one of these, hey, subscribe, smash the like button kind of person. There's enough crap out there for you to watch. If you want to tune in, awesome. If not, that's okay. Just doing this just for me, just to hold me accountable. So if you're here next week, I guess I'll see you then.